It's 8 in the morning! What are you doing? Oh, I need to take this down before I become a... You know what? I'm gonna leave it up. Let's just see what happens. What is this? Why is he so thick? Hi, I'm Gam, and I'm sure 90% of you guys watching this video have no idea who I am, which is understandable. I'm just going to get one thing out of the way. Sorry for this. I know I'm pretty awful looking. I could easily be mistaken for a hobo or bum or a crackhead, but there's not really much I can do about that. It's just me. I know I'm one ugly mofo, but could you just look past that? We'll be good. If you can't, then I understand. I recommend turning the video off. Also, sorry for this gigantic microphone. Guess who planned to record this in Hyde Park, didn't sleep, recorded when it was pissing down with rain, to then find out everything we had recorded was muffled, so it was completely useless. Yes, that's why I'm using this. Hopefully it's not an eyesore. Anyway, I'm a pretty massive Sonic fan, and I have been doing YouTube for the past 10 years as of the 28th of February 2025. To celebrate 10 years, I wanted to highlight and celebrate the community as a whole. You guys don't know this, but being a part of the community has generally made my life bearable, and in all honesty, I don't know if I would be here without you lot. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to a boring, ugly British man talk about his history of the series. But, as you probably read in the title, this video is only for people over the age of 15, as a lot of darker topics get discussed in this video. Topics like depression, anxiety, loss, sexual harassment, bullying, catfishing, the list can go on. I feel awful if this is your first exposure to these terms, as it gets pretty dark. So if you are younger than 15, please turn off this video and watch something else. I don't have anything against you. Also, this video wasn't made to get pity or make people feel bad for me. I just simply want to share my story with this community, to showcase how amazing it can be, and to showcase to people who have been through something similar that you're not alone. If you're still here, then let's get started. Part 1. The first part. On Wednesday the 3rd of April 2002, in a hospital somewhere in London, I was brought into the world. The early thousands was a great era to grow up in. The internet is in its infancy, the world of tech was progressing super fast, and the jump from each console generation was an absolute marvel. My childhood, I wasn't really exposed to all the new tech. My family wasn't rich, so we had a lot of older stuff or hand-me-downs, which really never bothered me. I enjoyed our PS2 playing through Spyro 2, Rugrats, Toy Story 2, Buzz Jr., Buzz Monster Party, all that good stuff, and playing Demolition Racer with my dad. These would be some of my earliest memories of gaming, and I cherish these moments to this very day. Nothing will ever beat the feeling getting a death from above in Demolition Racer.
That's a 10.
Funnily enough, even though I enjoyed playing games, it was far from my favourite thing to do at the time. I was a lazy bugger, let's be honest, so having to set up the PS2 in the living room box TV wasn't really something I enjoyed too often. I'm sure people at the same generation understands that. I was way more into watching cartoons or watching movies on VHS or playing with toy cars, so much so that I was almost glued to watching classic cartoons on Boomerang every day, watching like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, and Scooby-Doo and a ton more. The smart jokes and slapstick nature always made me come back for more. When the summer holidays would come around, I never really did anything. Again, my family wasn't rich, and with a fairly big family, it was difficult getting the time and money to do something all together. Every so often we would do something, but I was content with staying home and watching cartoons like I had been doing. But I wasn't too fussed. One summer, Boomerang decided to run a marathon of a show I really wasn't into, and both Disney Channel and Nickelodeon were in their IRL show era, which really did not interest me in the slightest. I didn't have anything better to do at the time. My dad was at work, and I'd help my mum around the house here and there, which left me with a lot of time to do stuff for myself. So I decided to look into channels that I hadn't watched or heard of before, and I stumbled upon a channel called Pop.
Let's watch Sonic Underground.
It's like I said, when faced with disaster, just move a little fast.
Spider-Man! Alright, bud, listen. I got this song stuck in my head and it's on the tip of my tongue, but it goes... Da 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 da. Give up your children, separate. Bide your time, lie in wait, Sonic Underground!
I actually remember stumbling across this channel when they were showing a marathon of Dick Mario shows and getting really excited as I was a little fan of the Mario series at the time, as my classmates would talk about it a lot in school. After watching the last couple of episodes that made up the marathon, a new show was coming up from a series I'd never heard of before, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. For what I can remember, I really enjoyed the shows mentioned before. I watched a ton of old school Looney Tunes and it was very similar. It wasn't anything that blew me away, but I liked the main character and it was a fun time overall. Another Sonic show has been shown at the time as well, and it was one I get pretty obsessed over and one that I'm not proud of. Sonic Underground. To say this show took over my life for the summer would be the understatement of the century. Which pains me to say, as I cannot stand the show now. It is awful. In all honesty, I don't know what made me like this show as much as I did. Compared to the other things I was watching at the time, it stood out like a bloody sore thumb. Well, it could have been down to the music, as each episode of Underground was accompanied by a really cheesy, and I mean a really cheesy music number. The kinds of early kids music that gets stuck in your head no matter what you try and do to get rid of it. Luckily for me, this was just a small phase, and when the summer ended and I went back to school, I never rewatched it. It was like I never watched it in the first place. I've yet to still watch a full episode of Underground, because the clips I've seen as an adult, I don't know what I was thinking.
Need a hand? Ah, just a little joke there. What? What? Why'd you save me? Let's talk, bud.
So that was my first introduction to Sonic, and just like him, I forgot about that series in a blue blur. But, thankfully, that didn't last for too long. Fast forward to Christmas the year after, my mum would get a gift for the entire family. It was a brand new console, something that I never thought would ever happen. She got us a brand new Special Mario Red Wii, which came with Wii Sports and new Super Mario Bros. Wii. What my mum didn't know at the time was how much this would impact my life. This little red machine would be a massive impact for me. Playing both Wii Sports and new Super Mario Bros. Wii, my sister really strengthened our bond. The Wii made me fall in love with gaming for the first time. Again, I did say I did play on the PS2 when I was younger. There was something about the Wii that just ignited something in me, to the point where I'll go back and play the PS2 and play the games I had in the past, but with a lot more love and excitement. Mix that with the excitement of being able to get brand new games and being able to talk about them at school, and my friends knew what I was on about. That was completely alien to me before. Over the next couple of months, we would get new games like Dirt 2, new Super Mario All-Stars, Mario Kart Wii, but nothing major would really happen until my birthday a year later. I can't really remember what age it was. Again, I have a memory of a goldfish. But for my birthday that year, my brother brought me a bundle of Wii games that he thought I'd like. A couple of simple FPS games and some cool looking racing games. But right at the bottom of the pile, there's a little, indie title called Sonic Colors. It had been a couple of years since I had finished the cartoons, and with Sonic having a completely different design, I never put two and two together. I was looking at Sonic Colors as a series I'd never heard of before. This game is the reason I have ended up how I am today, with an absolute love of platformers. The beautiful visuals, the amazing sense of speed which rivaled my love of racing games at the time, the fun story, an awesome main character, and the simply outstanding soundtrack kept me hooked. This was the first game to have everything I wanted out of a game, and more. It showed me that any type of game can have depth and still be really, really damn fun. I know looking back on Colors now, shows that it wasn't insanely in depth, but for my younger self, who was playing new Super Mario Bros. Wii and old PS2 games, this was incredible. Sonic Colors reinstated my thoughts on gaming as a whole and opened my eyes to a new genre of gaming. Bloody hell, my hands are cold. Colors was also the first game I had completed as a kid, like finishing the game normally, not to 100%. Screw those red rings. And also, almost got me in a lot of trouble when I was younger too. As mentioned previously, I could only game in our living room, meaning that I only had a set amount of time and had to come off when I was told to. I defeated the final boss and made it through terminal velocity and was told to come off. My time was up, which at the time I didn't really think was a problem. I skipped through the final cutscene, think I'll get back to the main menu, but as a Sonic fan, you guys know how long these credits are. You can see where this is going. The credits appeared. I was so worried that my progress wouldn't save if I didn't make it through the credits, as I couldn't skip them. I had to keep telling my mum that I couldn't come off yet due to the credits taking forever. And she was rightfully a bit frustrated, that's understandable. All was good, and I managed to get through the credits without my mum turning off the console, which was a blessing. I can easily say now, when looking back, Sonic Colors is the most influential game to me. It's a bloody cold. Just brought gloves. Nothing major really happened over the next couple of years. My mum got me a DS Lite, a nice light blue one, from one of my birthdays, and I nabbed Sonic Classic Collection as my first game. This little collection introduced me to the classics. While I was absolutely awful at playing them, still am, I loved every second of it. That collection is the reason why I'm a classic fan now. I'm going to be honest, I know the shot is different, that is mainly because this next section is quite difficult for me to do on camera. I did think about doing a voiceover for it, but I didn't think that was, genuine enough. I know some people would be like, oh, this is fake, because of that, and I don't really want that happening, so that's why this shot is different. It's quite difficult for me to get through. So yeah, that's it. That was just not part of the script. I just thought, let you guys know about that, because it's the main thing. Even in this scripted thing, it's the main thing I want to do is be transparent, which is the main thing, right? So anyway, let's get into this. 2014 was a big year for me. It was when I started high school, but within the first week I could tell I was immediately in a massive tonal shift from primary school. The particular high school didn't need any tests to get into, so it was fairly easy to get into. So a lot of naughty and bad kids were available to get into it. I picked the school as a couple of my best mates from primary school decided to go there, and I wanted to join them. I could have gone to another high school, but that one needed a test to get into, so I thought I'd not bother. But I'm going to be honest, that was probably my biggest mistake. It was an awful decision to make, because I wasn't even 2 weeks into high school and I was already getting bullied just for how I spoke. I was in a choir in primary school. I enjoyed it so much, and it was something I took very seriously. So when it came to pronouncing some words, they sounded higher tone or longer than normal. So that one small thing was enough to make me a target. I also wasn't rude, sporty, a class clown, edgy, and kept to myself. So I guess that was an easy target for them because of that. It started off as small sarcastic one-liners, but it quickly ramped up into more as their group got bigger and bigger and bigger as the year went on. One individual was just a huge creep. He had just this weird off-putting vibe about him and would weirdly pick on others in ways that I'd never seen before. I unfortunately had a run-in with him when I was running late to art class from history, and he grouped me. Unfortunately, this whole situation still affects me to this very day, and even talking about it's a struggle, hence the shot and everything you're currently watching. To give some context, I was in year 7 at the time, so I think I was around 11 to 12 we both were, and he did that to me. Looking back, I shouldn't be surprised with how he treated and hung around teachers, especially female teachers. Just a creep is an understatement. Anytime he would gesture something sexual behind a teacher, it would always make me uncomfortable. I had no idea how to react at the time, as I've never encountered or seen anybody do anything like that before, but it had left me traumatised unknowingly. I remember I was really struggling to focus in art later that day and just decided to lay down during the lesson. My problem was that I couldn't tell anybody in school, as, things got out insanely easily, and I didn't want to get bullied even more than I already was. It would have made things 1,000 times worse. By the time I got home, I felt ashamed that the whole thing happened, that I couldn't even bring myself to tell my parents. I don't know why, but I thought they'd be disappointed in me. So I decided to bottle these things up, these whole feelings up, and try to carry on with my life as best as I could. But unfortunately, with each week passing, school became a lot harder to deal with. From the bullying to the vast majority of my best friends from primary school starting to not want to do anything with me. Like, they found better people, I guess, in their own friend groups. It was hard to deal with and hard to cope with, especially as I came to this school because of them. All these negative emotions started to get a bit overwhelming, as a lot of them I was experiencing for the very first time. So to try and combat these feelings, I went to the IT suite during my lunch breaks to check out YouTube and play some flash games to take my mind off of things. Up until this point, I'd never really checked out YouTube, and the most I'd seen was in primary school, viewing educational videos. So thankfully, it was like opening up a new world. So there were so many different styles of content I'd never seen before. From game trailers to YTPs, it was an endless form of entertainment, and my dumb little brain could not be happier. It generally helped out a ton, and I don't know where I'd be without that little pocket of joy, because like I said, it got really overwhelming at points, and what I used to be like was always smiling, always happy. My normal face, people say rest in bitch face and things like that, which I have now, but when I was younger I had the complete opposite of that. I was so smiley, so it just shows you like how big of a contrast, how big of a difference that things were when this happened. So I just couldn't understand it. Obviously I'm not going to mention names or whoever did it, and I'm hoping that this person has changed, and that's, they're doing things for the better. I doubt they even remember doing anything like this, let's be honest. But I definitely haven't. It's stuck with me to this very day, and it's one of my main reasons why I am the way I am with anxiety and depression. I didn't just go to the IT suite to watch YouTube videos, like mentioned before. I also went there to play some flash games. Unlike YouTube, the school had blocked the main flash game websites like Newgrounds, Miniclip and Congregate, so I had to rely on unblocked games websites. They were usually made very simple in Google Sites, I don't know if you guys remember that, made by other students who hated the fact that they couldn't play games in school. To be honest, it never really bothered me, as they usually had a gigantic list of games pinched from other sites, and even though they were usually kind of looked sketchy, they were always safe to use. From Tetris to parking games. I played a lot of flash games during my breaks, but none of them were more influential than one, Ultimate Flash Sonic. I'm sure that name rings a bell with a lot of you Sonic fans out there, for good reason. It's a short but oh so sweet 2-zone game in the style of the Sonic Advance games, which is kind of crazy because it actually predates Advance 3. My high school self could not get over how much fun this game was, and it came close, really damn close, to controlling the classic collection on the DS. I had no clue what Advance was at the time, so I thought the whole thing was custom, which then made me realise that anybody could make a Sonic game if they put their minds to it. Before playing Ultimate Flash Sonic, I had no idea that something like this could ever exist, and opened up my mind to the ideas of Flash games after playing it. This little game was my very first taste of the Sonic fandom. I'll always be grateful for that, because without this game, I don't know if I'd be here making videos for you guys. These little breaks did not last long, as I was constantly getting interrupted by a certain group of friends. They were one of the main reasons I was in the IT era in the first place, as I wanted to get away from them and relax with some of my other friends. At the time, I just thought they were too much for me to constantly talk to. You know, one of my main problems is that I can't stand confrontation, but that still is a thing that I deal with today. So I've never really fought back or properly stood up for myself, and it's bloody annoying, but it's just who I am. So because of my one escape being kind of useless now, I started to get more and more depressed as the weeks went by, and by the end of the school day I was just mentally shattered. Playing games were one of the last ways I could escape from reality and just be able to fully relax. Sonic games are the ones I'd always go back to. I think it was mainly down to the free nature of the character and the fun, rewarding gameplay style. No matter where I was, I could easily pick up a Sonic game and just have fun. But like most things, that just didn't last. The amount of, random bullying and the overall depression from the groping situation in the back of my mind made it harder and harder to use games as a way of escaping reality like it used to. I still don't understand why this all happened to me in the first place, especially as I hadn't done anything to them. But the thing that the younger me didn't understand was that sometimes people were just dicks and arseholes. The fact that I was different from them was really enough to make me a target. Looking back, I don't think I was ever truly 100% happy, which, like I said earlier, was really unlike me at the time. All this happening led me to bottoming things up, as in my mind, I couldn't showcase that any of this was affecting me. That also goes for how I handled things at home. I couldn't show that I was doing poorly, as my parents would be worried and try and sort things out. Part 3. It gets worse. From this point onwards, I was becoming a bigger fan of the series, as through YouTube I found a lot more Sonic-centric people. This was a huge step for me, as it was nice seeing other people enjoying the series, which was something I've never seen up until this point. Even though I enjoyed playing Sonic games, and they were a big escape for me, I did always kind of feel like I kind of felt alone, as I knew nobody who liked the series as well. People like Some Call Me Johnny, Belina Productions, and more are the reasons why I carried on finding more and more about the fan side of the series, as their videos were so damn entertaining to watch. From reviews to animations, it was so cool watching and finding more about the main side of the series too, and seeing what I had missed up until this point. If you couldn't tell by this point, I love platformers. They have such an uplifting vibe to them and can come in so many different packages. But when I was growing up, platformers were nowhere near as popular, so you can probably unfortunately tell where this is going. The games that caught 90% of people's eyes were FPS games, a type of genre I'm not a huge fan of now and was totally bored of back then. On top of that, I went to an all-boys school, which, side note, was a awful decision. And I'm English, which means football was talked about 24/7. I don't mind people talking about what they like. In fact, I want to promote that kind of thing, as it's awesome seeing people talk about something they're really passionate about. The issues start when you're not allowed to like anything other than the norm. And I was already an outcast compared to everybody else for the most part. So a big part of my friend group, saw that I was enjoying platformers in the Sonic series and decided for me that it wasn't normal or healthy to be enjoying these games. Their words, not mine. This and the constant issues in the IT room is where the cracks started to form, and it wasn't the end of me being treated like a piece of dirt, unfortunately. From this point on, I was constantly bullied for liking the series by my friends at the time. This was partly due to how the series was viewed by people that age. Thanks to videos by angry YouTubers, game reviewers, etc., the series is an absolute laughingstock to anybody who were fans and, were prime targets for bullies. You weren't really safe anywhere, both online and offline, as you'd get made fun of, as the kids was a lost cause and was only for kids. Me being the absolute idiot and dumbass I am, I just thought it was a bit of banter and nothing more. So thinking it wasn't meant to hurt my feelings, I bottled it all up and dealt with it. It was really socially awkward, something I still haven't grown out of. So having friends was a big deal for me. Because I kept on second guessing myself, I started to overthink a lot about the situation and just kept quiet when they would take a jab at me or made fun of the things that I enjoyed. In hindsight, it was a stupid decision, but I thought they would get annoyed with me if I spoke up and I didn't want to lose my friends. Looking back, I would not do the same thing now, but at the time it made all the sense to me. This mindset, it wore down over time though, as I realised it wasn't just banter, but rather them looking down and thinking less of me or taking advantage of me and my kindness. This is unfortunately a big theme of this video, it takes up a big chunk of the video. Over time, they decided to take control of things that I was watching and listening to in school, as it went against their wishes. Still, to this day, I genuinely don't understand what they were trying to get out of that whole thing or what they were planning. You know, I'd be listening to Sonic OSTs during break, or the odd time where we're allowed to listen with headphones to music in media studies, as I love listening to them while doing something productive. It really helped me out, it boosted me. It started off light. They would suggest an awful song or something stupid to watch, and knowing I don't stand up for myself, they got me to listen to the weirdest and most horrific shit I've ever heard. It did escalate to them forcibly changing my music without asking, and then being pissed off at me when I would tell them to stop. If I could stand up for myself, it would have been the worst decision, as they all were so much stronger than me, and also had friends who would beat me up if it came to it, easily. To them, I was the weakest link in their eyes, I guess. Like mentioned previously, the Sonic series and its music meant so much to me. It helped me get through an awful experience I had in Year 7, as mentioned before, and helped me find new genres of music that I still listen to and adore to this very day. I'm not a huge fan of what most people call normal music, so pretty much most things in the charts. I'm an old school rock and video game OST fan with a lot of other niche genres. I stuck the metaphorical middle finger towards those arseholes and kept on doing my own thing, so I didn't stop listening to the music I loved, and it made me appreciate the songs even more. To this day, I don't regret doing that, even though it caused a lot more issues for me in the future. I know things would have turned out for the worse if I didn't do that, and I don't know if I'd be here on this channel right now talking to you guys. I continue to struggle mentally, not feeling my best, but really trying to keep up with my schoolwork. With the amount of work I was getting from my different classes, I was able to get a decent schedule for myself, and from that I actually kind of started to feel more like my old self again. I don't know if I looked happier, but I had slightly a brighter mind and partially got my old energy back. This, like most things, unfortunately didn't last too long though, as it would get a whole lot worse for me over the coming months. Long story short, I told my friends I was planning on opening up an Instagram account to follow more of my interests. Social media was still a new thing for me, and something I wasn't really fully sure on how to use. Still have that problem now. All I knew was that I wanted to follow things and people who interested me so I could have a feed of entertainment. I was essentially planning on using it as another escape for me when I was at my lowest. As I knew my friends had accounts of their own, I asked if I could follow them. And yes, that includes the friends who were bullying me. Again, dumbass. The next evening, I received a random DM from an unknown account and decided to open the DM. After a small chat that lasted about 10 minutes, the user then started to say that they were super depressed and that they were going to off themselves because they were ugly. I've always hated seeing people be so upset, so I made the stupid decision to carry on talking to this person and try to help them out in the best way I could. They proceeded to send an image to me, and it wasn't a great photo, I'm going to be honest. Again, in hindsight, it was clearly edited and made to look worse, but during the moment, I didn't want to hurt this girl's feelings. My mind was truly going a mile a minute. I then got guilt-tripped in sending a photo of myself, which was the dumbest thing I could have done. I knew I was way out of my depth and needed some sort of help, so I decided to Snapchat one of my friends and try to ask for some help, as I've never dealt with a girl before, let alone somebody who was saying they were going to off themselves. I got a couple of responses, that ranged from keep her happy to even congratulating on me talking to someone. That should have been the point where everything clicked. But I was super stressed, I didn't acknowledge the weird response from him. Not knowing what else to say, I just kept trying to be positive and make her feel better about herself. I told her, look, even if you think you're not beautiful on the outside, try and get people to see that you're beautiful on the inside, the true you. Weirdly, as soon as I uttered those words, the situation calmed down and she started to thank me. A couple minutes after that, she left the chat. I was absolutely shattered from the stress. I hadn't ever felt this level of stress all at once before, and I just conked out on my bed after a while. It was too much for me. The next school day would be one of the hardest days I would have to ever get through. At this point, I still had no clue that my friends had anything to do with the events that happened the night before, so I geared up to go to school just like any other day. But as soon as I stepped through the front gates, I still remember that the whole vibe I was used to just fell off. I went to IT like I usually would, got caught up on some of the homework I wasn't able to do the night before. That was due, and then left to go to my tutor room. That's when everything caught up with me. The same usual group of friends were waiting outside my tutor room, and before I could say a single word, they started reading out parts of the message I sent to the girl before, the night before. I didn't even get a simple hello from them. I just stood there confused, like the whole weight of the world falling onto me. I was stabbed in the back and had no clue how to deal with it, and all I could do was just sit there and listen to them continue to say random things from the message. For the rest of the day, I wouldn't even be called by my name by these people. Instead, I was, to get the intention, they would just say, "Find the true you, and you are beautiful on the inside." Again, the stuff I was saying. I even approached one other not as close friend and said I was really uncomfortable. All I got was a response was that it was just a joke and get over it, is not that big of a deal. It happens to everyone. I was getting so many mixed signals from others and my own gut feeling that it got to the point where I just became numb to the whole thing, as I just couldn't handle it. When going back to the ordeal and thinking about it, it is difficult for me to remember anything about what else happened that day. All I can think of is just the immense pain and dizziness that I was feeling. I've repressed it so much that everything else is just a haze. The whole situation happened because I was slightly different to others, going against the grain of what I liked. The fact that I was a lot more positive thinking than most people, and that at the end of the day I was a Sonic fan. I never want anyone else ever to experience anything like that. Not even a fraction of it, as it did a lot of damage to me mentally. Not even an enemy. I don't want any person out there to have to go through that. And before anybody suggests that I could have gone and told somebody, one, I was already ashamed of myself for having fallen for this in the first place, and I felt that if I told anyone the news, it would spread further and make the whole thing a lot worse. Like, again, similar to how I felt with the thing that happened in year 7. The teachers were awful, by the way, at the school, at dealing with situations like this. 90% of the time, they would side with the naughty kids, even to the point with being pals with them. I had no chance whatsoever at having any of them on my side. Knowing that one of the main reasons this whole ordeal happening was because I was a Sonic fan, it got me wondering about how other fans would be dealing with bullies, because it's not just going to be me that this is happening to. When looking up videos on YouTube and trying to relax, there'll be always videos making fun of the series and fandom, which added so much fuel to the fire. I didn't want anybody else to feel how, I was at the time. Even at this point in my life, I was very anxious and worried about being online, people knowing me, especially after the previous incident. So I thought back to what I did when I needed to relax in the past, and I immediately thought of YouTube. So many creators have unknowingly helped me through so many bloody tough times, and I thought, what if I could do that too? This one idea would change the direction of my life forever, and for the better. The creation of my YouTube channel would push me into the community, and over the next decade, I would meet so many amazing, down-to-earth and bloody talented people. The first couple years were slow, and I'd not upload as frequently as I wanted to, as I would need to take breaks and balance both my school life, IRL life, and YouTube all at once. I showcased some entries from SHC for the first time, which led me to the Sonic Amateur Games Expo and the whole fan game space as a whole. These two events showed me that so many people still love the series and want to make quality games and ROM hacks for other fans to enjoy. It really warmed my heart, as it made me feel like I wasn't alone and wasn't weird for liking the series in the first place. It gave me even more drive to push myself even more. Over the next 2 years, school was becoming even more difficult to deal with. So alongside my friends, The teachers started to give up on me due to my dwindling mental health. This was because I told a couple of teachers that I wouldn't be going to university after finishing high school. As I personally wasn't comfortable with the thought of going at the time, I asked a number of times by some of the higher up teachers to try and maybe reconsider. But as the whole thing was stressing me out, I just kept on saying no. I got placed in this internal limbo and had to fend for myself as well as a couple other people, as according to the teachers, that was the last thing going for me. I wasn't sporty, I wasn't interested in specialised subjects, I wasn't a troublemaker, and now I wasn't going to university. This felt as horrible as it sounds, and even talking about it now makes me feel bloody stressed. Some of these teachers were ones that I went for guidance when I was really struggling in the past. That ranged from needing help with homework, dealing with the fact that I had IBS, to even asking for guidance after a family member had passed. The fact that they then used the things I told them privately against me messed with my head and my overall trust in people, which was already, as you can imagine, really damn low. All this happened while we're also getting ready for our GCSEs, so I was already stressed out and could feel the teachers judging me even when we went off to our exams. Overall, I didn't do too terribly considering I had a really tough time revising when I was really stressed and depressed. Once my exams had been completed, there was no reason for me to stay around this school anymore, so I decided to pack everything up that I needed and just leave. But obviously, it didn't end that simply. No. As soon as I got out from the front gates, the same awful group of friends came to me and said that I had ruined a lot of their time in school and that they regretted even talking to me in the first place, despite knowing that they were in the wrong for all the stuff that they did to me. I still felt really hurt and used for some odd reason. Apparently in their eyes, all the things that they did to me was my fault, which obviously makes no fucking sense. The silver lining is that after 4 years of them pestering me and being absolute idiots and rude to me, they were finally out of my life and I was free from school. During the final couple weeks of school, I thought that I would try out college, as in my opinion, I didn't really have much going for me, still don't. So I would go and attempt a new skill and hopefully be treated more like an adult. Part 4. Things are looking up. College wasn't really any different from high school when it came to most people. There were a couple of really nice down-to-earth people there, which was a nice change of pace, but they were a lot older than I was. I just wanted to get to know people my age, but even though I tried, it was all the same style of people from high school. I still wasn't able to be vocal about my interests, as there was a very high chance that I would be made fun of once again. The first year of college rolled on by, and the other people who I was friends with left, so I had to try and make friends with the others. The first year we didn't get really taught anything too detailed, so going into year 2, I thought we would finally learn the basics, but in more detail. But of course, yet again, I was wrong. According to the teachers, I needed to know at least as much as an apprentice, which, because of the teachers and the whole course itself, was actually just never going to be possible. I was once again an outcast. Everyone else in the group had worked in a car workshop environment, except for little old me. I wanted to do the course as I loved cars, it was up there with how much I enjoyed the Sonic series, but I was so far behind everybody else. Being told off and made fun of for stuff completely out of my control really made me feel like the unluckiest guy in the world. There was nothing I could do to get out of this. Mix that with the new friends I now made ditching me as well, probably because none of my interests aligned with theirs. And let's be honest, I'm a very boring person to be around. I was once alone, trying to stay afloat with my education and not really getting anywhere. I don't get why I attract these types of people. Maybe it's just I'm super unlucky, but it made me start overthinking things about myself. I kept thinking there must be a reason, for this stuff to happen. Looking back on it, they were just a bunch of assholes. Once I'd finished the second year mechanics, I decided not to continue the last year of the course. My love of cars had been ruined by the teachers and I was really just stuck with what to do next. I was getting anxious and stressed as my time was running out, but my brother came out of nowhere and he recommended the media course because he remembered how much I enjoyed the course in high school and suggested that I give it at least a try, even if it just was because I needed more time to think out about what I wanted to do next. after giving my details and like certificates and all that sort of stuff, I got admitted into the level 3 of the media course, which was a 2-year course, which was great. I did take a while to come to the conclusion that I was going to do the media course, mainly because the motor mechanics teachers were still making me do work even once the new year had started, so I started the course 2 weeks later than everybody else. As this happened in September of 2020, COVID was still rampant in the UK, and the UK was in between its first and second lockdown, so COVID actually just didn't affect me getting onto the course, which was a huge relief. I'd learnt a lot from how I was treated in high school and the first 2 years of college. So, when I managed to get started with the media course, I went into it not wanting to make any friends. I wanted to be by myself, me against the world. I didn't want to get made fun of, bullied, and disrespected anymore. I was sick of it. I would not be able to mentally handle it for a third, actually, or fourth time. I had a full plan made up. I was just going to be an unknown person in the class and just do all the work by myself and not get worked up into anybody else's business. Just like any other time I've attempted to do stuff like this and make a plan, it just didn't work. But, unlike those plans, I'm glad it failed. In my second lesson, I got moved, to be more to the front of the class, and I got put between 2 random people, so I was quite uncomfortable. Long story short, I was put between the 2 people who I now can call insanely close friends, Abby and Joseph. Unlike a lot of people I had befriended in the past, these guys didn't judge me for the things I liked, nor made fun of me. They really just allowed me to be me. The amount of weight that got lifted off my shoulders was immense, as I didn't have anything really to be worried about. I was able to talk about things that made me really happy for the first time. Abby and Joseph, I owe so much to you guys. I'm not sure you guys know how much you mean to me, but I cannot thank you enough for allowing me to be me. I still struggle with talking about what I like. I'm in front of the camera now doing it, and I'm still very scared and stressed out about it. But I know I'd be in a much darker place without you both. Not much happened in 2021. It was still a really rough year for sure, but nothing happened that needed really to be added into this video. Plus the runtime for this behemoth is already getting on, so 2022 was another really bad year for me, as so much stuff happened to me in such a bloody short amount of time. The year started off poorly, as my original channel, now named Gamulus, got hacked. This genuinely almost broke me, as this was one of the few things that I had made that I was proud of, and I kept a schedule with and kept going with for so long. I put so much effort into the channel, and it was really like my own escape from the world, while still being able to showcase the amazing things the community had made. It was all out of my control as well, which added salt to the wound, as my main email had been in a massive data breach. All I truly know is that the hackers came from my old Roblox account, which I stupidly linked to my YouTube, and the rest is history. I was really lucky that I had a panic attack the night before, as I didn't get a proper night's sleep, so I was way up earlier than usual. I got a load of messages from a couple friends and some viewers, and managed to take down the couple of scam videos they had uploaded, changed my passwords, and managed to lock them out of the account, and things went back to normal for a while. I could breathe a sigh of relief just for a second. A day later, I edited another video, went to upload it to YouTube, but I lost access to the actual upload menu as it was weirdly all greyed out. I was not able to upload, stream, or even post an update to my community tab letting people know what the hell was going on. I had the carpet literally swept out from underneath me. So, the only thing I was for sure that I knew was that the last 5 years of content and streams were essentially gone, as they were just taken out of the algorithm and just were left there. I did get told that I would get notified if I'm able to upload things again, but that never happened. Obviously, I didn't really know where to turn next, as this channel meant so much for me, and I couldn't do anything with it anymore at that point in time. I looked into many various different ways I could try to get my channel back, but none worked, and a lot of them was just not worth the effort. I then thought to myself the reason I got into YouTube in the first place, which was to provide a place where people can come and escape from the world and chat about the Sonic series without having to people bully you for your opinions. This channel meant so much to me because of the wonderful comments I got from you guys saying that they enjoyed the videos and that I could showcase amazing things that the community had made. There wasn't anything stopping me from doing it again, so I decided to have another crack at it. Unfortunately, I've been saying this a lot, that wasn't the end of the bad news in 2022. As a Sonic fan, 2022 was a wild year as we finally got a new mainline game, Sonic Frontiers. There was so much positive buzz around the game, people getting so hyped that the game was something new and not another attempt at a linear boost game.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
The series desperately needed this positivity as the previous years was not a fun time. If you were there, you guys know. So many people across the world coming together to be excited and hyped for a brand new Sonic game really warmed my heart. And much like Sage in SHC in 2015, it really showed me that so many people still adore this series. But during this time, however, my granddad wasn't doing too well as he started to forget things. He was suffering from dementia and started to go in a downward spiral as the months went on. Not knowing how much time he had left, I decided to try and mix the positivity and the hype around Frontiers with raising awareness for Alzheimer's Research UK to try and make some kind of positive out of this awful situation. I will always be so grateful and thankful for people who donated and stopped buying the streams, as it was a tough time to get through, to put it lightly. A few weeks after I finished my Frontiers playthrough, my granddad passed. The Frontier streams will always have a special place in my heart, as it proved how amazing the community really is. I still haven't processed his passing, or any of my grandparents passing. And, you know, we're now in 2025. I still, like I said, haven't gotten over my grandma passing from COVID either. And I don't know if I ever will. The fact that people have just been so positive and happy during this time really did help me out with just being able to relax and not have many breakdowns during this really rocky period of time. But 2023 was definitely one of my worst years to date, as the effects of the previous encounters and issues started to pop up. To deal with all these issues, to try and not feel ashamed of myself, I still continued to bottle things up a lot. But the metaphorical bottle started to crack and my mental health for pretty much the entire year plummeted. I will say I've never wanted to hurt myself or cut or anything, even at my lowest, just in case some of you guys are worried. I've always put others in front of myself, even when at my lowest. I know that's damaged me in the long run, but I always and still do find it hard to put myself first. I honestly don't think I deserve it, to be honest with you. This mixed with the fact that I bottled everything up already made this year really damn difficult for me. Each month had gotten worse mentally. My energy levels plummeted compared to what they used to be, and my sleep was getting disrupted from the anxiety attacks and overloaded mind issues that I would have to deal with every so often. Before anyone comments that I haven't tried to do anything to help myself, I have tried medication. None genuinely worked. Even during this absolutely awful time in my life, the community has been such a shoulder to lie on. I've never mentioned at any point I was struggling. Not at all. As I don't want people to worry about me, even when there's so much more important things to worry about. It was the people just being themselves, you know, chatting about the series, having conversations or about the aspects and of the models and the series as a whole that they like and dislike. People will still get involved with big fan events, and it was such a joy to see. Catching up on YouTubers, both new and old, really helped me get through this tough time as well. Not much really changed going into 2024. The year started off as stressful as ever, as somebody who I didn't want to talk to in a long time randomly messaged me and sent me into a really bad panic attack, generally one of my worst I've had up until this point. Luckily, my friends Amy and Dave were there to help calm me down, but the whole situation kind of revealed as to how the year would shape out as a whole, and unfortunately it came true. It was another really tough year for me mentally, but this time with a difference. I deliberately didn't mention that at the end of the last part of 2023, I befriended somebody who would also significantly help me feel like myself once again, and deal with my mental health. This person is Octi, somebody who would include me in a lot of projects, which would give me my confidence back with my graphic design. And through these projects, all these different types of projects, I met even more amazing people who I can even now call friends. That was the major difference between 2023 and 2024. I was included in more public projects and was able to meet more like-minded people. While the year was still really tough, and I mean really tough, there were so many small pockets of joy and happiness throughout the year, and that's down to my friends both old and new. I was still struggling with anxiety attacks and having an overloaded mind every so often, every now and again, and I wasn't really looking after myself nearly as well as I should be. It's something that I've seen people mock others online, which isn't fair, as depression and anxiety affects everybody in different ways. It's something I've gotten better at, kind of, but it's still a challenge that I still deal with now, and it's still a massive challenge that other people still deal with. As for 2025, I'm still not doing great, but the main thing is that I haven't gotten worse, really. My depression and anxiety has, still an issue I'm dealing with, and most of the time I'm still losing that battle, but it's something I'm kind of used to at this point. The thing that I'm happy about is I'm still part of projects. I'm making designs for other friends of mine, whether it's streams or a fan game, or even somebody coming up to me and asking if I could help with Twitch panels. That generally made my day. You know who you are. I still don't fully grasp why people like my stuff, nor why they want to try and commission me, as I personally don't think the things I make are up to any decent level. I'm hoping that by the end of the year I can appreciate the things I make more and myself more and value them rather than just be confused, on why people want anything I make, as I'm sure it's getting tiring, people hearing me not understand why people want my stuff. Without knowing it, a lot of you guys watching has helped me and a lot of other fans over this last decade. Being yourself, creating so many creative and imaginative projects for other people to enjoy generally has helped me through a lot of rough times, and I'm here to just say thank you. We don't deserve people like you who just create for fun and give other people's entertainment. I think a lot of people take that for granted, and it's something that feels, really special to the Sonic community. Whether you make art, fan games, ROM hacks, remixes, original music, mods, renders, the list can go on. You are amazing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You might not think you are doing much, but from one person to another, no matter how small something can be, it can have a humongous impact on somebody in a positive way. Thank you to everyone who's supportive and positive in the community. It genuinely would not be the same without you in it.
This community is such an amazing place to be online for the most part. While there are a lot of bad eggs, the good really does outweigh the bad in this case, in my opinion. A lot of you guys are some of the most down-to-earth and chatty people I have ever met, despite a lot of fans being in the similar boat as me, where they get bullied like the series. There are so many amazing fan projects out there, and, they've been worked on day by day, which is such an amazing thing to think about. It's become as big as important as the main series itself, and is just as amazing to see so many people creating things for fans to enjoy. As I said in the first part of the video, no matter what you do in the community, whether you're making stuff for others or simply just being a fan, you are helping the community grow. It was thanks to videos, flash games, and people talking about the community that I've probably found, the community in the first place. This community is such an integral part of my life, and that's all thanks to the amazingly supportive people. So this next portion is all about you guys. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has helped me, inspired me, or just helped out the community as a whole. So much time and effort goes into creating things and helping out the community in general, so I wanted to showcase my support for these guys as, you all have done amazing things. Katie. I think it would be an understatement if I said the community would be nowhere near as strong as it is currently without you. And the whole rest of the social media team as well. The amount of time, effort, and amazing dedication you've put in to not just the social media side of things, which is amazing by the way, but the whole series is genuinely truly inspiring. I can't imagine the stress levels when Aaron passed the torch to you when he left, but man oh man, you have done an absolutely killer job from the very beginning. From the continuation of the official streams, bringing more amazing people onto said streams, showing off new merch, to the absolutely timeless Sonic Symphony and Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog experiences. It's absolutely amazing how much talent you have, and funny enough, both the Symphony and the Murder of Sonic were a big reason why I decided to finally do this whole video. The Symphony was the very first time I had ever met or seen IRL Sonic fans, and it was, something I really needed. I already knew the difference between, you know, IRL and people who hide behind computer screens, but actually seeing it in real time and in person was such a nice and surreal experience. It did kind of just showcase what I was thinking already was true. All these fans coming together to celebrate the amazing music from the series in a bloody brilliant concert is something that I will never ever forget, and I will always be thankful for. I unfortunately missed out on the second London showing, as I had some IRL issues, so I just missed the tickets. So crossing fingers that it somehow comes back to the UK or London for a third time. I don't think it will, but a man can dream. The Model Sonic was a game that truly captured the characters in such a positive light, and in my opinion portrayed them almost perfectly in a way I have not seen in a very long time. The amazing art and fun soundtrack really ties the whole package together into a game that I know a lot of other people will cherish for years and years and years to come. At times you and the social media team were the glue that kept this community together and showed the positive side of things, and I'm sure the entire fandom will thank you all so much for doing that. I cannot thank you enough for just being yourself and having fun, as it shows fans who still maybe getting made fun of by, you know, people, that being yourself is a good thing. I'm excited to see what you and the social media team have cooking up next. I'm sure it's something amazing, fantastic. I am so excited. Roger Craig Smith, the man, the myth, the blue blur himself. Before anything, I just need to say thank you. Roger, you have been a part of the Sonic series for so long, and you've been killing it the entire time. You're such an insanely talented VA, not just for the series, but for the gaming landscape as a whole. It's crazy that I've actually kind of, without knowing, grown up with your performances before I even was a Sonic fan. Like regular show Batman, as well as your other voiceover work for TV bumpers or adverts, is where I unknowingly heard you for the very first time. As mentioned in the very first part of this video, my first game was Sonic Colors. So I've always known you as being the voice of Sonic to me. Every single Sonic VA over the years has added their own spin and take on the character, and I honestly don't think there's ever really been a bad Sonic VA. You all put your all into your lines and just have fun, which is the main thing, right? Just like Jason and Ryan, you truly added your own spin to the character, and thanks to your amazing performances, you've helped so many adults and kids get through tough times by just providing a sense of entertainment and escapism for people. Once again, thank you for the time and effort that you've put into your job and putting up with us fans over the years. There's been a lot of undeserved negativity thrown your way, and that's an understatement, but thank you for sticking around as the blue blur for this long. Keep up the amazing work, and thank you for shaping so many kids' childhoods. To me, you are an absolutely voice acting legend and a genuine hero. I'd love to meet you at some point in the future. Thank you for everything you have done. Johnny Gioeli, this man needs no introduction. Thank you so much for being a down-to-earth, caring person, Johnny. Just like Roger, you've shaped so many people's childhoods with your amazing vocals and genuinely caring about the community itself. Crush 40 songs were among the small groups of songs I'd listened to at school, and like I said again in the first part of the video, would be turned off by my so-called friends at the time, but the amazing powerful vocals and killer melodies would always make me come back. I was one stubborn guy when it came to a lot of things, it seems, especially music. I would also personally want to thank you for commenting on my Sonic Symphony Experience video a while back. I don't know if you remember this, but seeing your comment really made my year and really just showcased how much of a nice person and genuine person you are. My mental health is something I don't really like talking about, so having you comment something really supportive when I've only talked about it like the first time on and off means way more than you can ever imagine. Thank you for just being such an amazing part of this fandom and community and making your music for this long and sticking around. You've helped thousands upon thousands of people with your music, and that's something that is just amazing. Jun Sonoe, just like Johnny, this man needs no introduction. Just stellar guitar skills shaped a generation of music lovers. Thank you so much for making these amazing tracks and playing them for so many people. Whether you're with Crush 40, the Sonic Adventure music experience, or just by yourself, you know how to make people happy through your music, and that's just beautiful. If it wasn't for your amazing talent and guitar riffs, I wouldn't have even listened to SA1's OST. Like, that first just guitar riff really sent just chemicals through my brain. I was just stuck.
Monkey?
Thank you for also just being a really nice person. It was an absolute honour to meet you at the very first Sonic Symphony. Hopefully the next time you are at the event, I'll be able to talk to you in person. Once again, thank you so much for all the work you put into the series over the years. It genuinely would not be the same without you. Some call me Johnny. You all know about this coffee drinking legend. He needs no introduction. But gonna be honest, I don't want to call Johnny a Sonic tuber because he's not. But I'd be lying if I said that those videos of his versus Sonic videos, weren't my most viewed videos of his when I was younger. Johnny is also a big integral part of me becoming more intertwined with the community, as I learned of the entire mainline series for the most part with his reviews, and also got introduced to the Sonic hacking contest because of him. SHC is such an important part of my year now. I honestly don't know what I would do without it, and it's all thanks to Johnny being a host, like a live stream host over these years. From Crazy Sonic and the Sonic the Very Useful Engine to the Caterpillar ending, Sonic 1 Burned Edition and Chuckles the Hedgehog. I can't thank you enough for all of the amazing moments. But alongside SHC, Versus videos were truly a blast to watch. It was the classic Sonic 06 Versus video that introduced me to your content, and I'll always be forever grateful as you helped me get through a lot of tough times, and that's an understatement. It was nice to be able to just sit down and hear another Sonic fan's opinion on certain games, as to me that was still a new thing at the time. Thank you for being you, Johnny. I've been watching you ever since, and you've introduced me to a lot of other games I just would not have touched otherwise. Sam procrastinates. Of course, Sam, you know, aka the SA1 hater, had to be on here. He's such a positive but down-to-earth creator on the platform who isn't afraid to voice his opinions on things. His streams are always a blast to watch when I'm able to catch them, and it was always nice to have a relatable Sonic fan to watch as well. The amount of amazing things he has done for this community is just so damn commendable. Yelling about Sonic's oatmeal thighs, which of course I had to put at the start of this whole thing. I'm sorry if you're seeing this, as long as you've seen that, Sam. I had to. I saw it lined up. It was like the perfect amount. Whatever. To him editing parts of the symphony, adding jokes the community would get. There is a lot more things I could list here that Sam has done, but the video will go on for a really long time. But it just shows that Sam is an absolute gem in this community, and I cannot thank you enough for getting me out of so many dark times as well by just being so bloody entertaining. I honestly hope the best for you, Sam, and continue being you, please. You are genuine. You are such an amazing part of this community. You and your community rock. And we are all so bloody lucky to have someone like you as a figurehead in the community. Azura. Where do I even begin with Azura? Like, she is absolutely, easily one of the best friends I could possibly ever ask for, and I haven't even known her for a crazy amount of time. Azura is another incredibly hard-working individual. She's been working on 3 fan games. Sonic Storm, The Botanical Craze, and CD Sources is great. That's crazy. Doing voice acting as well, creating incredible music, and also taking her time out of the day to watch my absolute dumbass stream. She has also been an incredible help when it comes to my mental health, which I'm not sure if she really knows. I cannot be more appreciative of that. Seeing your talent grow and grow over the fairly short time I've known you is a really damn amazing thing to see. The fact that you still carry on and create all these amazing projects while going through mental health issues yourself is something that sums you up as a person really well. You are such a hard-working, caring and supportive individual. I'm genuinely so proud of how things turned out for you, and the fact that you're not allowing things that have happened in the past to slow you down. That's insane. That's so cool. I know you will be an inspiration to a lot of people, if not now, in the future. You're an inspiration to me, but if, like for others, if not now, you will 100% be in the future. Keep being you, and I'm so happy that I can call you a mate. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you cook up in the future. Belina Productions. There is no way I could go talking about channels and not include Belina. SFM and Gmod animations were such a guilty pleasure of mine back in the day, just the really stupid, like random ones. YouTube recommended me some Sonic related ones back in the day, and that's kind of, you know, when YouTube actually cared about, you know, pushing stuff out, which doesn't really happen that much anymore when it comes to animations. I stumbled across Sonic Zombie Origins, which I found, you know, pretty okay. But I decided to look at the other stuff where I found Christmas as Sonic 1 and 2, as well as the first ever Sonic Scared Stupid, and really enjoyed them. There was just something about taking Sonic out of his usual styled adventures which really resonated with me. I used to do something similar with creating my own zones back in the day, maybe that's why I don't really know. The thing was that I really liked how the characters were written. They were so different to how I was used to Sonic at the time, you know, colours, but I much preferred how the characters were portrayed here. I've been following the channel ever since, and it's crazy how much you have genuinely improved over the years. I loved Sonic and Camp and Chaos, Sonic and Harvest Time Hazard, bloody hell these are hard to say, Countdown to Mania, and of course the second and third parts of the Sonic Scared Stupid, especially 3, that was fantastic. And also the rest of the Christmas with Sonic series. It sucks that YouTube is still screwing you and your channel over so much, but I'm really happy that both your living situation and money situations for animating has improved. YouTube honestly would not be the same without you. I'm a proud patron, and I don't do that often. I cannot wait to see what you have been cooking up for Scared Stupid, The Final Chapter, and Sonic Warriors. Your recent animations have been absolute gold, and if you guys haven't, seen any of these, do yourself a favour. They are so bloody fantastic. Thank you for making videos. It is a joy, an absolute joy, seeing a new animation of yours pop up on my YouTube feed. Octi. I've only known Octi for just over a year by the time of writing this, but talking to her over the last year, I can easily say she's one of the most underrated, down-to-earth, nicest people I can proudly call a friend. Octi has helped me so much over the last year, and I cannot begin to thank her enough. She was one of the few people who knew I was still, really struggling with mental health, and many times she went out of her way to help me, to find tips, videos, books to try and get me back on track. I honestly don't know if I'd be right here, right now without her. You have made my life brighter by being in it. But that's not the only thing Octi does. She is not a psychiatrist, I'm just going to say that. Even though with the amount of times I've gone to her and told her about things, I need to do something about that. But that's not the only thing she does. She is an insanely talented animator and artist. There's just something about her style that is just so comforting to me, from like the line thickness and the colours that she uses. I seriously recommend you go and check her animatic channel out as well. It's fantastic. Along with that, Octi has made multiple videos and a fan event called Sonic Fan Games First, an amazing event where Sonic fan games and now indie games are celebrated with such a positive atmosphere. Everyone in there is to support each other and to celebrate each other's games. These events are not easy to plan and make, but each one has been bigger and better than the last. But Octi, with some help, has made it through 4, soon to be 5, smashing events, and is absolutely amazing for getting this far. Making a new fan game expo while Sage is still going strong is a really hard sell to casual fans, understandably, but she has managed to make SFF work and lift everybody's spirits with just how positive and down to earth she is, and the whole event is. The community really deserve people like Octi who just want to send positive vibes throughout the community. The fan game and hacking scene are some of the reasons I've stuck around with the series for so long. And anybody who helps highlight that side of the community is always going to be in my good books. So thank you for shining another positive light onto this community, Octi. I can guarantee you have made so many people happy with your animations and SFF. Speaking of SFF, I want to thank you for allowing my dumbass and just not creative self, like talentless, that's the word I was looking for, to help out with the trailers of SFF4. It was a really fun and creative time, sending ideas back and forth and updating with updating you with how things were turning out. I've met some insanely talented people through the SFF server, and the fact I can call some of them friends is insane to me, and genuinely means more than you can imagine. Helping out with Project Orion has been an absolute blast. The new lessons and skills I've learned through making stuff for Orion is something that I'll always be thankful for as well. It's been an absolute honour being able to help out with so many projects, and seeing you personally grow over the year and over the time we've known each other is insane. I'm really looking forward to what you do next. Strawberry Jam. Jam is another person who I think is incredibly underrated. She mainly does streams on her Twitch channel as well as making content on her YouTube, speedrunning Sonic games, but is now branching out to other things as well. Jam is one of the most upbeat and happy people I've met during my time on YouTube and my content creator journey, and just has fun with the stuff that she plays and creates, which is what it should be at the end of the day. She's also another incredibly hardworking person, as she used to be the social media runner / manager for the Sonic Riders Tournament Edition mod. Fantastic mod. As well as making the whole website for it as well, which is, it is so good. I know this is weird recommending you just go and looking at this website, but god damn, it's one of the nicest websites I've ever seen. Alongside that, she was also the amazing person who helped me get onto the actual team as a graphic designer. Through that, I've met a couple of awesome people in the community, and it wouldn't have happened without her. It just wouldn't. She also has been an insanely massive help for me over the last couple months, especially over the last couple of weeks. Just give me help and tips in ways that I can improve my content and myself, and that's something I didn't ask for. She just did it. She just gave it to me. Just messaged me on Discord, all this stuff, and having a nice conversation. I think for about 40 minutes to an hour, and that's the first time anything like that's happened to me in the 10 years of me doing this, and that means the world. I don't know how to say it other than that. It's thank you. That's all I can say. Those tips and comments really helped me really think about what I'm doing and how I can improve things, and yeah, all I can say is just thank you for that. She deserves all the support she can get, and if you want a nice chill time watching someone speedrun some fun games, or just watch somebody really chill, I cannot recommend her enough. I know you are destined for even more great things, Jam, and I really hope this year you get your sub though on Twitch. If you don't, please go and sub to all these people. If they're on Twitch, do it, and on YouTube, Addie's another super underrated person in the Sonic community, especially for how much she's given back to the community as well. Once again, she's somebody who I haven't known a crazy amount of time, but is somebody who has made my life that much brighter by being in it. Addie is a really hard-working person, balancing both work and streaming. She is somebody who has helped me out a lot by streaming, as when I've been struggling with anxiety attacks or really heavy waves of depression, and I've seen that she is live. I know I can relax and join in and watch it and take my mind off of things while watching her streams. It doesn't always work, and I don't do it all the time, and there are other people I have gone to as well, but it's a nice feeling to have some safe space for me to calm down when needed. She also supports so many truly amazing people and pushes them to be better and to properly look after themselves. In the short amount of time I've known her, I've met and seen so many amazing streamers and content creators through her, people who I continue to watch to this day. Addie was also a massive part of Sonic Expo, and with how much positivity I still hear about the very first two events, I think we can all agree how much of an amazing job both her and the whole team did. It's an event that I would love to go to at some point, and the fact, I've kind of made it a goal of mine to go to next year's. Unfortunately, we're gonna see how far that dates this video, if I actually go or not, but crossed fingers. The other thing I want to say is, and let me know if I'm overstepping here, so I can cut it out if you put it in the comments or whatever. It is insanely amazing to see how you push through both IRL issues and some mental health issues and just carry on with things. I know it's something that can be incredibly hard to do, and sometimes things can seem bleak, but you are here making content for others and looking after yourself, which is the main thing. I know that all your friends and family would be so damn proud of you getting to where you are currently, and I know that especially your dad would be proud of you. You've been bringing the amazing positive side of your community as well as the Sonic community to so many new faces, and that's something that not everybody can do. Thank you, Addie, for just being you. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the year brings your way. Appreciate you. Mr. Fidel Games Cage. Do I even need to introduce Fidel? I live in the UK and I feel like I can hear your reactions to Sonic announcements from here. Jokes aside, he really, really does not need an introduction. Fidel, all I can say is thank you. I haven't really been following you all too long. I've been around since the Frontiers hype days, and the amount of pure positivity and joy you brought to the community should not be understated. The insane tonal shift from the drought from Forces to Frontiers to the announcement of Frontiers to now is insane. Not just because we got a ton of games, but because we finally had a place where we could be happy and vocally excited for the series again. And before anybody says anything, I do know that Fidel wasn't the first person to do this, but he was the most vocal and pushed this community to be better, and still does. From one content creator to another, you are truly an amazing person, as you're partly responsible for us fans being allowed to be happy online again. And the amount of new channels and streamers that were born from the Frontiers hype era is nothing short of amazing. From your crazy streams to your wild intros, you know what I'm on about. The community truly would not be the same without you in it. You have helped so many people. Emsbury, aka Black Doom Lover number 55. Sorry, I'm cool. Of course, I'm joking. A little bit. I know I haven't known Ems for as long as some other guys I've mentioned already, but man, is she a bloody hard worker. She runs her own main Twitter account, makes almost daily videos on Twitter and YouTube, and has started streaming, and has also been the head of many crazy creative projects. That seriously is not an easy thing to do, juggling all these things. I actually found her account through listening to episode 1 of the Sonic Split radio show that Ems used to make back in the day, and even though it's not being made anymore, I still highly recommend you check it out, and all the other stuff that she is making. They are worth it, trust me. The main reason why I followed Ems though was mainly because she wasn't afraid to share her opinions, but also respected other people's opinions and takes. That is unfortunately really hard to come by on Twitter. And do you know what's crazy? I wrote this section like a year ago and it's gotten worse. Like, that is still so hard to come by on Twitter now. It's crazy. Seeing her videos and opinions pop up on my timeline was always awesome to see. Now, because of douchebags on Twitter, opinion sharing is now harder to do than ever, so she doesn't really share her opinions as much, which, don't get me wrong, 100% understandable. If I was in her position, I'd be doing the same. But it is still awesome and funny seeing her get up to mischief every now and again, especially with the Amy Rose stuff on like the Sonic Movie 4 stuff. That will never get old to me anyway. But I also want to thank you for just being really nice and genuine to me. During my time on the internet, I really haven't had that many people say they like the stuff I make. Most of the people who have are mentioned in this video. So when you said that you enjoy my graphics, it genuinely mean the world to me. Going from that to inviting me to the X project was awesome. I've met some insanely amazing people through that project who I can now call friends, and that's all thanks to you. I thought I'd peaked by this point, but I never thought in a billion years that I'd be able to help design a stream overlay and make a teaser trailer for you that really pushes me out my comfort zone. And yet you were the one who asked me to help you out, which I still cannot thank you enough for. That has never happened before. This is why I didn't accept any payment. All this kindness and reaching out genuinely means the world to me, and it gave me a really slight confidence boost. That to me is priceless. Keep doing what you're doing, Ems. You are making people's days better by being you, making content and bringing people together through your projects. I'm really looking forward to all your future projects and your growth on YouTube. There's really not many people like you left on both Twitter and just the whole space as a whole. Thank you for being you. Harley, you should all know Harley if you're on Twitter. I understand if you're not on Twitter it's a cesspool, but if you're on Twitter, you should know Harley. She is such a beacon of positivity on the toxic platform. She's another person who I enjoy seeing on my timeline, whether it's her opinions or the art that she's made or liked. It is rare to see Sonic fans be open with their opinion, but still acknowledge and think of what other people's takes, and Harley does that. Thank you for sharing your thoughts throughout the series and your favourite aspects of it. More people should be like you and just say what they love about the series. I know that you didn't really expect to get the platform you have, but there's a reason why so many people followed you and respect you. So once again, thank you and don't stop being you. And your art is insanely good and you've improved so much of your art. Like, amazing job, amazing job. Nico, there we go. Dude, if you don't know who he is, then I'm mad at you for 2 reasons. 1, this guy's insanely talented, just putting it out there, and 2, you clearly just didn't watch my Sonic fan art video, so go and watch this one after that. Man, I can't believe I self-plugged in this, goddamn. They are such an amazing artist that I hold in such high regard. Their ability to contort the characters in all sorts of poses while still making them look completely natural is bloody brilliant. Nico's art style really rivals a lot of the official stuff, and I'm not saying that to put anybody else's work down, I'm saying it because it looks so damn good. The way he uses the colour in his art is something that is truly magical, as he doesn't always use the normal colours the characters are known for. He really pushes different colour combinations to their limit, and it always looks amazing. Sonic art always holds a massive soft spot in my heart, as so much time and effort goes into making each piece, and it's all made for fun at the end of the day. Everybody can enjoy it, and for me, Sonic fan art has helped me a lot through bad days. Thank you so much for making amazing pieces that the community can sit back and enjoy. I really hope more people get to know of you and your work. Cannot wait to see your next piece. Azul. Matt, where do I even begin with Azul? Like, she is another fantastic artist on Twitter. She does a lot of Sonic art, but also does a lot with her, OC too. She was one of the first artists I started watching fully on Twitter, as she has such an amazing eye-catching style. From her use of colours to her proportions of her characters really scratching the Y2K part of my brain, she's incredibly underrated. The amount that she's improved over time has been really amazing to see, but saying that her old stuff is not bad whatsoever. Her line art is some of my favourite on the platform, mixing bold, thick lines with thinner ones in a way that just makes everything flow together. Mix that with her bold use of colour and you get some absolutely insane art. There's always someone who I've also personally commissioned in the past for the GAM art on my banner and the Sonic Mania mod video thumbnail. All I can say is that I would 100% recommend her, as I've never had to give her any notes and she was super happy to sort things out in a timely manner. Whenever she opens them up again, you bet I'm going to commission her again. I highly recommend you go and follow her account, as seeing her art on my timeline always brightens up my day. Thank you so much for providing a new take on Sonic fan art Azul, and for helping others, not just me, get through a rough day, as I'm sure there are a load of others too. Keep making amazing art. I'm so excited to see what you make next, especially as you keep improving your style over time. Cannot thank you enough. On that note, thank you for watching this different type of video. Obviously, if you're dealing with any kind of mental illness, you are not alone. And if you do feel like there's nowhere else for you to turn, then on screen, there will be some phone numbers that you can call and try to get help. There'll be like some text underneath saying like what region and stuff. That's cool. There are people out there who are willing to help you get through this, and you are 100% worth it. Do not forget that. Stay strong and you get through it no matter how long it takes. This video was incredibly hard to script and make, and it's most likely the longest time I've ever spent making a video. I don't know why I'm saying that. It is kind of crazy because it's like 2 years. Almost 2 years. I can't remember the exact date I started on this, but it's crazy that this is almost, and it's crazy that this is done. This is complete. It's done, so like it's taken 2 years to get to this point, and so much has happened during that time. It's gonna be weird going back to doing normal things and not have to think about this entire thing anymore, which I guess is a good thing now that I think about it, but it's gonna be weird, that's for sure. So, self-promo time. Ooh. If you could, please like, comment and sub for more Sonic stuff. I would greatly appreciate it, but you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to. If you don't like it, then whatever, that's cool. And also, this is something you have to do. Go and follow everybody I've mentioned in the video. They're all in the description, and they so deserve all of your support. But yeah, I think that's everything. I appreciate all you guys sticking around this long and wait for this project to come out, because I know it's late, but with technical difficulties and issues, that that happens to me all the time, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a pain in the arse that it's happened, but hey, it's here, it's out, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's helped you in some sort of way. But thank you all. I shall see you all in the next one.